Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Minecraft Meetup. Today we are going to attempt, and I'm going to use the word attempt, to create an elevator that will actually go up and will go back down. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to be referring to my notes as we go, so please bear with me. All right, so I'm going to first go in here, and the first thing that you need to do is you need to build up an area in the dirt. So what I did was, I'm going to show you what I did here, is I went up 2 levels and I did like an 8x7 on these 2 levels. So 8 blocks across by 7, and then I filled it all in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an area inside that's 3 across by 4. And I'm going to go down 4. That's why we built it up 2, because we can't go all the way down 4, because that's where the bottom of our flat world is. So I didn't want to work on that. I wanted to make sure I had dirt below me. So in order to do that, now I'm going to go ahead and dig this out. This is level 2 here. And level 3. And level 4. And you see that there is still dirt below, which is what I need to have in order to make this work properly. Okay, so now I'm on the bottom level, and there's 3 going across here in the corner, and right here on the second row of 3, I'm gonna dig again, and you see there's the bottom, and I'm going to put an immovable rock like obsidian. So I'm going to go ahead and put some obsidian in there. Okay, and now that I've placed that, I'm actually going to dig some of the wall out, and to make sure that I do it correctly, I'm going to refer to my notes now. So we have the 3 here, and we have, and here's the second one of the 4. So I'm going to take these out here all the way up, and I'm going to take this out all the way up too. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one out all the way up. Okay, so these are the 2 from the 4, and this was the corner of the 3, and I just took that piece out there as well. Okay, so we should be all set now. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and fill this one back in, just so that way I have a point of reference, because I'm going to be digging some holes, and when I dig those holes, I want to make sure that everything lines up properly. Okay, so now I have, here is the last hole that I dug, and so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a hole right here, and I'm actually going to use a couple of observers here in order to do this. Actually, I don't want to put a hole there. I want to put the hole here on this side. Here we go, like that. And I'm going to put an observer that's facing forward. There's one, go to 9, which is my observer. I'm going to put an observer, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a couple of placeholders here. I'm actually going to put an observer right here as well. Get rid of those. So now I have an observer facing this way and an observer facing this way. So now I have 2 observers that are there. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I think I am going to start working on some sticky pistons. Go back in here, and we are going to put a slime block here. Okay, so I'm going to find my slime block. I'm going to put a slime block here, actually right here up on top, and a slime block right here next to it. Right here, I'm going to dig a hole. I'm going to put a slime block there. Okay, so now I have 2 slime blocks, right? And now on top of that slime block, I believe I'm going to be putting a sticky piston. So I go to my sticky piston, I put them facing up, and now I'm going to make one that needs to face down. And in order to do that, I'm actually going to have to jump down here, put a hole in here, and get into that hole there and face up. And I'm going to put a sticky piston facing down. So now I have a sticky piston facing down and a sticky piston facing up, and they're right next to each other. Okay, get up here. I'm going to put a slime block here and a slime block here. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, and we still have our observer that's facing out this way, and we have our other observer down there that is facing out this way. So now we have these here, and right down here, this observer, we actually need to put a regular piston in behind him here. So I'm going to do that right here, and we're going to make that stick or that regular piston facing me. There it is. And right in behind here, we are going to put a block. And I'm going to use my quartz. Okay. And then we're going to put a block here. And we're going to put a block here. And we're going to put a block on top. Okay. So now we've got all these blocks here. And we're actually going to put some redstone in there in just a minute. But right over here, in these two areas right here, we're actually going to put some immovable. So I'm going to go ahead and use my obsidian again. Obsidian here. And I'm going to put obsidian here. Okay. So now I've got my 2 and my 1, and we're going to actually put a floor right here. So I'll put a floor right here. This is the floor that's going to go up and down. Okay. So now I need to go ahead and I need to add some redstone right here. Redstone dust. There we go. So now I have a line of redstone. I have my piston. I have my observer. I have my redstone and right here. Okay, and now one of the last steps that we need to do is we're going to actually put a button on here. I have a stone button, which is right here. I'll put a button on there. Okay, and now we are pretty much ready, except for one thing. On the top of this guy right here, we're going to actually use a block, and we're going to build it up as high as we want to go, how high we want our elevator to go. So if I click on blocks of quartz, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put them up quite far, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then at the top, I'm going to put a piece of obsidian. There. Okay. So now I've got that, but now I'm going to go back. This is kind of strange, but I'm actually going to take away all of these blocks now. This is just where it's going to live. Oops. So I'm going to take these pieces off. All the way back down to my observer. There we go. Okay. So now that's as high as my piston's going to go, or as my elevator's going to go. And now we're going to test it out just to see if it actually is going to work. Hopefully it does. Hopefully I've done everything correctly. If not, we'll have to figure out what we did wrong, which is what happens a lot, right? Let's see. It's trying. It's trying. And there it goes. Come on, you can do it. But you can see what's going on here is it's actually bouncing off of the slime, and the observers are triggering the pistons. And it stopped. I guess we must have run out a little bit of red dust there. So now we've got that in there like that. And we're going to go ahead and try to trigger it again. If I can stop moving around. Okay, so let's go back. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and push the button again. Come on. It's like it's trying. Maybe we need to change the weather too, huh? And it will continue. It should continue to go up until that piston gets to the obsidian, and then it will stop, and it will go back down. Nope, it stopped because it got to where it needed to go. Okay. And you'll notice that it stops. So now what I can do is I can create a structure around this elevator to push a button, because I can push this button, and then if I pushed a button up on the top, and then it would hopefully go back down. Okay, so it wasn't very tricky to do. Basically, it's just a couple of blocks of slime, 2 observers, 2 sticky pistons, one facing up and one facing down, and of course a little bit of redstone and another regular piston down here to kind of trigger everything and get everything started. And that really is it. And you'll see that we cut this out of here. We put an immovable down in there. We put in 2 immovables here and 1 there, and the button. That's it. So now what I can do is I can create a structure around my elevator, make it look really fancy, and that's going to be up to you to do that. Now you've got the idea of how to make an elevator. Now you notice we made it go quite high. We can make it go higher if we wanted to. We can make it go a little bit lower. It's up to you how high you want that elevator to go, but it actually does work, and that is actually really, really cool that we are able to do that. And again, it's not too much to build this. I've seen some elevators that require lines and lines of redstone, lots of building, lots of mechanisms, lots of circuits. This circuit is actually very, very, very simple, and it seems to work over and over and over again. Now, because I'm using the blocks of grass, that is why I built it up by 2. So that way I would have the dirt underneath to make sure that I built it correctly. So that's something to think about while you're building this. And this would be part of my structure within my building. So I could actually make steps come up to this if I wanted to, if I wanted to make a stone building, or if I wanted to make a wood building, whatever it is that I wanted to build and use this elevator for. So my next challenge is, now that I've got my elevator to go up, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get that elevator down, and I'm going to say that you're going to do the same as well, and how we wanted it to come back down. So I was going to show you how you can make it go back down. So we're going to go back over here, and you can see I've kind of been working on my building here with my elevator in it. I'm going to jump up here. I'm actually going to go way up here, because this is where my elevator is. My elevator stopped here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now that my elevator is up here, I want it to go back down. And so how am I going to do that? I'm going to show you right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, I'm just going to get a block of wood here. It's my command block. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one here. Okay, and then right here, I'm going to put a regular piston, and I'm going to face it so it goes in front of my observer right here. So to do that, let me go ahead and look up a piston. It doesn't have to be a sticky piston. It's just a regular one. Okay. And I'm also going to get a button. Okay. And I'm also going to get some quartz right there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the piston, but I want it to face this way. In order to do that, I have to kind of get right here and that way. So that way it moves in front of the observer, and the observer then will activate the redstone. Okay. And now I am going to add support here, Okay, and I'm going to put a button up here. Right there. And then underneath here, I'm going to put some redstone dust. And I'm actually going to make it go all the way into the piston. So now, when I push this button, come on. There it goes. Now it is moving all the way back down to the bottom. It's a little clunky, but it does work. And there it goes. And that's really all we have time for today. I do have another meeting that I am going to be in the process of getting to. So glad to see you. Have fun creating your elevator. Take care, stay home, stay safe, and just be well, huh? Until next time.